Hello my sweets, welcome back to Beauty Meets DIY. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you guys are doing well and that you're looking towards the new year with positivity. So today I'm going to create a number 2 version of that canvas girl that we named Luisa that you guys seem to love so much. Thank you so much for the overwhelming positive response that you guys have given me. I'm going to use the same size that I used before, an 18 by 24 canvas, but you can use whatever size that you want. I'm giving it a quick coat of white paint. I just think it makes the canvas look a little better, and that's optional for you guys. So I'm guiding myself by this picture that I decided to use. I will link her down below. Today again I'm going to use my Cricut. I went ahead and printed out my girl, and in my last video, if you haven't seen that, I did give you a few different options or tips as to how you can go about creating your face. So if you haven't watched that video, it's going to be very helpful for you guys to know how to go about doing this should you decide to create it. So now I'm just weeding off my vinyl. In other words, I'm just removing all the excess that I'm not going to need, so that I can be left with my face. And I love doing this part. It's so satisfying to remove the excess vinyl. So what we want to do now is that we need some contact paper. You can use the Cricut brand, a Silhouette if you have the machines. If not, you can go ahead and use this contact brand paper that you can easily find at the Dollar Tree or at Walmart. It's the cheaper route. So what I'm doing now is just, putting the contact paper so that it will lift up my image and I can transfer it onto my canvas. So you really want to make sure that the picture is really stuck to the contact paper. That's kind of like why I'm going over it right now. Sometimes the contact paper doesn't pick it up. This is what I mean. So every so often I have to, kind of just make sure that it's on my contact paper, and yeah. All right. So what you want to do now obviously is you want to find your center point, but in this case I kind of regretted not pushing her over a little bit more to the right, just because when I built up her hairstyle she took up more space to the left. So had I shifted her over to the right a little more, then she would have appeared to be more centered in the canvas. But nonetheless, I believe it turned out great. I also would have moved her head a little more up towards the canvas, but it's fine. You live and learn for the next time. So yeah, so here we're just transferring our image, and again just making sure that it is stuck on there well. So I'm gonna guide myself with this picture just to kind of follow the hairstyle. And we're going to be using, you guessed it, spoons from the Dollar Tree. And if you haven't seen my previous videos before, I created a beautiful mirror using these spoons, making flowers out of them. And I believe I also created a tray. You guys love those so much. So do you see how simple it is just to snap them in half? That's how simple it is. So because I created that mirror and that tray, I had so many stems left over, like a lot. And so I've had them in my stash for a while, and so I was just thinking, like, what can I do with this? And it just came to me to do something like this. So here I am just gluing on my stems, and then later on I'm going to use the rounded part of the spoon. So pretty much now I'm just following the pattern of her hair as best as I can, just kind of outlining her face first, and then I'm going to work my way outwards to build up her hairstyle. So yeah, this is pretty easy. You can use either side of the spoon stem. It all depends how you build up your hairstyle, how it falls into place, and then you can just shape it however which way that you want. But I thought this was a really good idea. I think it looks so much like her hairstyle, and I think it's just perfect. yeah, so I'm just gonna go on and on and on, and you can make it as wide of a big hair as you want, or you can just keep it to her hairstyle. So and I was just thinking about what to name her, and since I named the first one after my mom because she claimed that canvas girl, the one that we created with the ornament, I decided to name her Luisa after my mom. And so this one I decided to name Jailyn, and Jailyn is my daughter's name, and that's Jailyn. So yeah, hopefully she'll like it and she'll decide to keep it, but we're gonna name her Jailyn. All right, so we're moving on to the other side of her face, and again, I'm just, gluing and gluing and gluing. And then later on, you can also, you'll see, and I will probably mention it again, that you can, you're gonna be left with some gaps here and there, so you can always overlap. If you notice here, I do have to overlap a little bit some of the spoons, and that's totally fine because that's just gonna give it more a depth and more of a 3D effect. So you just go ahead and layer and just do the best that you can. And then coming right up, I'm going to show you that some of them you might have to cut. I did use my there you go, my wire cutter that you have seen me use in my previous video. So some of them I do cut to size, depending, just to, it kind of helps me go along the curving of her hairstyle, and so that my stems are not too long. And so it's just a matter of playing around and placing it the way that you want to. As you can see, it's now beginning to take form. But yeah, let me know what you guys think about this. Is this something that you guys would create? I know sometimes DIYs can be intimidating, but you know what? It's just glue, paper, things that that are easy fix, and that's why we try to do things inexpensively, because if you mess it up, hey, you didn't spend that much. It's kind of trial and error, experimenting. And so I gave it a go. I really love the turnout, and so I want to know if you guys are going to recreate this. And for the most part, Dollar Tree carries these spoons, as far as I've seen. So this is what I mean when I say if you want to overlap just to cover those gaps, go ahead and do so. So I'm going to continue with her hair later on, but right now I decided to use this washable or this glitter paint that the Dollar Tree now carries. I think it's fairly new. I know they have the glue, but this is the actual paint. It didn't really apply a lot of glitter, so what I did afterwards off camera was that I decided to add more silver loose glitter on it. And I will do that off camera. Here I have like these smaller diamonds, and I'm just gonna cut them into strips, and I decided to embellish her eyes with this. Guys, as I always mention, please give me those thumbs up. They let me know that you're enjoying this video, that you want more videos like this. There is no better way for you to let me know that you want more videos from me, and that you like my work, and that you like what I do. And if you're not subscribed, then what are you waiting for? Go ahead and subscribe. It's the only way you're gonna not ever miss a video from me. So I'm going to be using these pony beads. Now, you guys have, if you've been following me for a while, you probably have seen me use the clear version of these pony beads, because I've used them as a little trick. Those acrylic diamond gems from the Dollar Tree, I use them to make them stand up straight. And that's a little trick that I use a lot on my videos, and I've actually seen a lot of creators use that little tip. So I'm so glad that I've been able to help you guys out with that, because it really makes the little diamond stand up when you're using it on a flat surface. So that's a little trick for you guys. But today I'm using these gold ones, and it just it reminds me of the little pony beads that the girls put on their hair. So I had them in my stash, and so I decided to use them. And I'm also going to be using these little diamonds to kind of fill in the gaps every so often. So that's an option as well. You can put as little or as many as you want. That's entirely up to you. So now's the part where this is the other half of the spoon, and this is the part where I've created many flowers with these. So I just decided that it's not on the picture, on the inspiration picture, but I decided to give her a flower. And so that's what I'm doing for my girl right now. Then when I create a flower, and then in the middle, I'm going to apply like a little round diamond gem there. You'll see later. So the Dollar Tree used to carry these beautiful mirror tiles, but they don't anymore, but that's okay. I have an Amazon store linked down for you guys below where I will have these and many other, and I just put them every so often in the canvas in a diamond shape right there. And that's pretty much it. And off camera, I'm just gonna finish her up a little bit more. But this is how she turned out. This is how Jaylin turned out. I really love the way she looks. She really loved it. She thought she was really pretty and unique. Let me know what you guys think. Again, in my Amazon store link down below, I will leave those mirrored tiles. Everyone seems to love those, and I'm just really upset that the Dollar Tree doesn't carry them anymore, but I'm glad that Amazon does. So just to remind you guys, and as you can see, I love the way, again, she glimmers when the lights are dim. I think she is really beautiful. So far we have Luisa and Jaylin. Let me know your thoughts. Let me know if you're going to recreate this. Give me a thumbs up, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye, everyone.